In just 47 seconds, $12.4 million in hidden transactions. Kash Patel didn't expect the cameras. He didn't expect the leaked documents. Cameras captured everything. The chamber held its breath. What did Ted Lieu reveal that made the FBI director's career crumble in real time? At exactly 2:17 p.m. on a Tuesday, that would reshape Washington. The House Judiciary Committee chamber buzzed with electric tension. The mahogany panels absorbed whispered conversations as C-SPAN cameras positioned for what everyone sensed would be historic. Security personnel exchanged nervous glances as reporters filled every available seat. Kash Patel walked in like an investigator who had seen too many lies, his FBI badge catching the overhead lights as he adjusted his navy tie. The man who had built his career on exposing government corruption now sat at the witness table. Stacks of declassified memos and encrypted USB drives arranged before him like armor. His evolution from calm to complete exposure was about to begin. Behind him, FBI legal counsel whispered urgent last-minute strategies. Congressman Ted Lieu entered with the quiet confidence of someone holding dynamite disguised as paperwork. The California Democrats' folder bulged with documents that would soon make headlines worldwide. What Patel didn't know was that Lieu had spent 48 hours coordinating with FBI whistleblowers who had risked their careers to provide the evidence now sitting in those manila folders. His staff had worked through the night, cross-referencing financial records with classified communications. The first confrontation began innocently enough, but veteran congressional watchers recognized the setup immediately. Lieu thanked Patel for appearing before the committee, to which Patel responded that he was there to serve transparency. 3 seconds of silence passed as cameras zoomed in. Lieu noted the irony of transparency, pointing out that the committee had been waiting 6 months for documents Patel had promised. Patel shifted uncomfortably, claiming that national security required careful review processes. But 3 open loops were already in motion. Why did Patel's staff refuse to provide certain Epstein-related files requested 6 months ago? What was in the encrypted drive marked Project Black Book that had been discovered in Patel's personal safe? And why had $12.4 million been transferred from FBI operational accounts to an offshore consulting firm just days before Jeffrey Epstein's death in federal custody? Lieu asked if Patel was familiar with FBI Case File 2019 EP 7743. Patel's hands trembled briefly as he claimed he would need to review the specifics. The first document emerged from Lieu's folder like a sword from its sheath. FBI letterhead, classification stamps. Epstein's name in bold letters across the top. Lieu revealed that this document showed the FBI had credible intelligence about Epstein's activities 3 months before his arrest. Intelligence that could have prevented additional victims. He pressed Patel about whether his office had suppressed this investigation. Patel's jaw clenched as he gave the practiced response that the FBI follows proper procedures in all investigations. Sweat was beginning to form on Patel's forehead, despite the chamber's air conditioning. In the front row, Deputy Director Sarah Chen watched her boss with growing horror. Flashback to campaign promises. Patel had stood before crowds in 2024, promising complete transparency and no more deep state cover-ups. Those words now hung in the air like smoke from a burning bridge. Social media erupted. Patel Epstein files began trending within minutes. CNN broke into regular programming with breaking FBI director faces explosive Epstein questions. Lieu then read from Patel's own FBI memo, dated July 3, 2019, which stated that the investigation into Subject E required additional compartmentalization due to political sensitivities and recommended transferring case materials to a classified vault. When confronted with his own signature and initials on every page, Patel claimed he didn't recall the specific document. Lieu offered to have the FBI's handwriting expert verify the signature for the committee. Patel's knuckles turned white as he gripped the table, attempting to dismiss this as a political attack. Lieu cut through the deflection, emphasizing that this wasn't about politics, but about $12.4 million of taxpayer money and dead witnesses. The chamber froze. Even the cameras seemed to stop breathing. C-SPAN viewers across America watched as the FBI director's face transformed from confident to cornered in real time. At exactly 2:29 p.m., Ted Lieu dropped the bombshell that would define the rest of the hearing and potentially end Patel's career. Lieu presented a financial transfer record showing $12.4 million moved from FBI operational accounts to Blackstone Consulting LLC on August 8, 2019, just 2 days before Jeffrey Epstein died in federal custody. He demanded an explanation for this extraordinary transfer. The words hit the chamber like lightning striking the Capitol dome. Every reporter in the gallery stopped writing. Every camera operator zoomed in. Every congressional staffer froze mid-whisper. This was the moment that would replay on every news network for the next week. Patel's face drained of color, his hands visibly shaking as he attempted to deflect by claiming financial operations required proper classification review. Lieu delivered the killing blow with surgical precision. Blackstone Consulting didn't exist. It was a shell company registered in the Cayman Islands with exactly one transaction in its entire history. This transaction. Patel's authorization code FBI KP7743 was on the transfer document. Gasps rippled through Congress like dominoes falling. Deputy Director Chen's face turned ashen as she realized her boss had just been caught in what could only be described as a smoking gun moment. In the gallery, reporters' phones buzzed frantically, with breaking news alerts being typed in real time. CNN's Chiron already read, FBI director linked to mysterious transfer. Patel's counterattack came swift and desperate, but it only made things worse. He stood suddenly, his voice cracking, as he claimed this was a partisan witch hunt designed to destroy law enforcement, insisting he had dedicated his entire life to fighting corruption and protecting America. Lieu remained seated, calmly observing that the only witch hunt was Patel's hunt for ways to avoid answering simple questions about missing money and missing evidence. The damage was accelerating beyond repair. Congressional phones buzzed with urgent messages from leadership. Outside the Capitol, protesters were already gathering, some demanding immediate answers, others desperately defending Patel. Cable news trucks were multiplying by the minute. The stakes had just skyrocketed beyond a simple oversight hearing into potential criminal territory. Lieu revealed he had sworn affidavits from 37 FBI agents, ready to testify that Patel personally ordered the Epstein investigation files, sealed and transferred to a classified vault. He asked directly whether Patel was protecting someone, and if so, 8 seconds of silence felt like eternity. The weight of Washington's entire political establishment pressed down. CSUN's viewer count reached record levels. Patel slumped back into his chair, stammering that the allegations were unfounded, but Lieu wasn't finished. The congressman had orchestrated this moment like a master conductor, and the crescendo was still coming. The avalanche of evidence began at exactly. Lieu announced he was about to show communications from the FBI's own internal servers between Patel and unknown persons regarding what they called containment protocols for the Epstein problem. When Patel desperately claimed the files were classified, Lieu revealed they had been declassified that morning by federal judge Maria Rodriguez. The American people deserved the truth. Lieu displayed a printed email with Patel's name clearly visible, reading from it, "The Epstein situation requires immediate containment. Transfer all files to Vault 7 and ensure no copies remain. Patel stood again, sweat visible, his voice rising as he accused Lieu of destroying national security for political theater. Lieu calmly responded that the only thing being destroyed was Patel's credibility, then called upon Agent Patricia Wells to stand. A 20-year FBI veteran with silver hair and an American flag pin rose from the gallery. Agent Patricia Wells testified that Director Patel had personally instructed her to lose the Epstein surveillance tapes. When she refused, she was transferred to Omaha within 48 hours, and he threatened her pension. Lieu asked Wells to repeat exactly what Patel had said to her. Looking directly at Patel, she quoted him, "Some files are too dangerous for the public. Make this problem disappear, or your career disappears with it." The real-time collapse was visible to 47 million viewers. Patel's supporters in Congress began checking their phones, calculating distances from a man clearly going down. Republican committee members who had planned to defend him were now studying their notes, searching for any possible defense. Lieu stood for his final question. If Patel had nothing to hide, if this was all legitimate FBI business, why had he paid $12.4 million taxpayer dollars to make Jeffrey Epstein's FBI files disappear? And why had he threatened a 20-year veteran agent's pension to keep her quiet? Patel's face completely drained of color. His hands shook visibly. The sound of cameras clicked like machine guns. 47 seconds of silence felt like hours. In barely a whisper, looking completely defeated, Patel invoked his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination. The chamber exploded. Reporters jumped to their feet. Congressional members leaned back in shock. Deputy Director Chen buried her face in her hands. The FBI director had just taken the Fifth Amendment on live television while being questioned about Jeffrey Epstein files and missing millions of dollars. Lieu leaned into his microphone to deliver his final observation. The director had just invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself regarding the Epstein files. He told the chamber to let that sink in. The immediate aftermath unfolded like dominoes falling. Press conferences erupted across Washington within minutes. Outside the Capitol, crowds chanted for Patel's resignation. Cable news anchors struggled to process what they had witnessed. Patel, who had entered as the reformer cleaning up the FBI, now sat exposed as potentially its most corrupt director in history. Ted Lieu had evolved from California congressman to the man who brought down an FBI director with leaked documents and precise questioning. CNN's breaking news banner read, "FBI Director Takes Fifth on Epstein Files." Fox News hosts visibly struggled to defend their former champion. MSNBC declared it the most significant congressional hearing since Watergate. Within minutes, every major network had broken into regular programming. Within an hour, Patel Resign Now was trending globally, reaching 2.3 million tweets. The internet had spoken, and its verdict was clear. In a quiet moment after the chaos, Deputy Director Chen approached the witness table where Patel sat alone. She informed him that the Attorney General was calling and wanted his resignation letter within the hour. The new mystery seed was already planted. If Patel was protecting someone connected to Epstein, who was it? The investigation would reach into the highest levels of American power. During his press conference, Ted Lieu delivered his final statement that today had proven no one in America was above the law, not even the person tasked with enforcing it. Sometimes, the strongest weapon isn't a badge or a subpoena, it's truth, archived and revealed at the right second. When power tries to bury evidence 6 feet under classification stamps and shell companies, democracy demands someone with the courage to dig it up and drag it into the light of public scrutiny. What happens when a leader who built his career fighting the very corruption he secretly embodied finally meets someone who won't be intimidated, bought, or silenced? If transparency can't survive in the FBI, the agency tasked with upholding justice. Can it survive anywhere in our government? The American people watch justice happen in real time today. 47 seconds at a time. They saw that leaked documents and persistent questioning can topple even the most powerful officials when truth becomes their enemy and lies become their only defense. They witnessed the power of accountability in action. Today's hearing proved that in the digital age, secrets have expiration dates that can't be extended indefinitely. Files get leaked. Whistleblowers find their courage. Truth finds a way through the maze of classification and compartmentalization. And when it does, even FBI directors can't hide behind national security claims and offshore shell companies. What would you do if you had evidence this explosive sitting in your desk drawer? The next time someone in power claims national security or ongoing investigation to hide their crimes, remember this Tuesday afternoon. Remember that sometimes the real threat to America isn't foreign enemies plotting in distant capitals. It's the corruption festering in our own institutions, protected by badges and clearances, and the assumption that nobody will dare ask the right questions. The revolution isn't coming sometime in the future. It's here, happening now, being live-streamed to millions, and it's being won one leaked document, one brave whistleblower, one persistent congressman at a time. This dramatized story is inspired by real events and public figures. All dialogue and incidents are fictionalized for commentary and educational purposes. This is not intended to defame, but to explore themes of power, truth, and accountability.